Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be. Welcome to the self-proclaimed cutest podcast in all of Wraith. Welcome back to the Pitch Perfect Pod. My name is Kiki, and of course we're joined by Elaine.
Hi.
And today we have a very special guest, fresh off a win at The Calling in London. We have Emily. Welcome, Emily.
Hello, hi.
Now, you're a relatively new player to a whole bunch of people that might be listening and to the wider community. I don't think you're a new player at all, though, but I mean in terms of, getting your name and results. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourselves and your journey in Flesh and Blood real quick?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So I started playing Flesh and Blood right as Uprising came out. A friend had gotten me into the game, and I was able to find a community here in my city, and I was immediately hooked. Started playing lots of CC and Draft. I started with Briar. That's like my first big hero that I played a lot, and I loved how she played. I'm a big fan of Briar.
I love Briar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, I've just been enjoying my trip through Flesh and Blood through all these years. Sort of moved away from Runeblades. I had a bit of a Guardian phase, and now I'm hard stuck on Illusionist. I played Dromai, and and it's all just history from there.
Beautiful.
I just fell in love with the deck, and with Dromai hitting LL, Enigma was right there, and I was like, Enigma's my goat. I played her immediately when the set came out, and even though she wasn't great then, she just got absolutely demolished by Zen and everyone else. But now here I am at the Calling when she's in a good position, and I've got lots of practice with the deck, and really paid off.
And now you're here with us because of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, our first segment for the week is usually our weeks in Flesh and Blood, and you seem to have a pretty good, you seem to have a pretty okay week when in regards to Flesh and Blood.
Yeah.
So, shall we talk about what Flesh and Blood related things we've done this week, I guess?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Elaine, would you like to start us off?
Yeah. I watched Emily win a Calling, and that was really cool. I went to an armory. It was just a CC armory. Played some Aurora. Had a lot of fun. I think I went 2-2. Which is fine. I hadn't been out to play Flesh and Blood in so long, so that felt good. And then I just got to watch the Pro Tour and the Calling and the stream. I love spending a weekend. It was really cold and rainy weekend here, so it's the perfect type of weekend to just sit on your couch and watch Flesh and Blood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My experience was pretty similar without the armory. But yeah, no, I basically just watched the Pro Tour. Not something I usually get to do with different time zones and stuff. I don't usually get to watch it live. But yeah, no, this time it started at 9 p.m. New Zealand time, which is perfect for me, right? Got to watch almost the entire thing while I was still awake. Yeah, I think that was literally it in terms of my Flesh and Blood interactions this week. I wasn't able to play any game, which is sad. I sold packs. It's related. My week in Flesh and Blood was not very exciting, unfortunately. And then this week, I'm going to be working when my armory normally happens. So I'll be present and judging and TOing. Yeah. Once we get closer to not heavy hitters. Once we get closer to high seas, I'll be playing more, I promise. My stories will get more interesting.
It's okay.
Now, Emily, did you play any Flesh and Blood this weekend?
I might have played a bit of Flesh and Blood this week. Yeah, I got to play in the PT. Had a super rough start. Mm-hmm. It was I was starting 2-0 and then just lost every game after that. It was not having a great time there. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drop. I'm not having fun. We're gonna play some side events, go out with my friends for supper, and then regroup for the Calling. And then the calling started out well, and I kept going well, and then it was 9-0 day one, and I'm like, oh my god! And then the day two was equally incredible. And yeah, was lots of tough play, lots of thinking, and lots of lots and lots of flesh and blood. Yeah.
Well, we'll delve into that a little bit more shortly, because it's basically the crux of our episode is your week in Flesh and Blood, now that I think about it. But before we do that, we have shout-outs, which we haven't had in a while. There was a bit of a quiet season of not many Flesh and Blood events or things going on. But yeah, this week we have shout-outs. So we are proud to announce that we had not one, but 4 Rainbow Pitch League competitors taking out the cosplay content. And the winners for this cosplay event were...
Should I say the categories and you say the names? Is that cute?
Go on, we can make it like the Oscars.
Yeah. The winner for craftsmanship
goes to Max Ferocity.
Accuracy.
Carlotta Fernandez.
Performance.
Alexandra Frangopol. I hope I pronounced that one correctly.
Last but not least, best rookie cosplay
was Holly Stowe.
Yeah. And also, in addition, friend of the pod, talented cosplayer Carolina Alvarado did an amazing job as the special guest and cosplay judge, bringing Marlin to life right before everyone's very eyes. So that was really cool to see. Congratulations to all 5 of those people. Yes, check out the cosplay contest blog. It's live on the World Tour. It's on the World Tour live blog. That's what... Yeah. No, the Pro Tour live blog. Yeah. Sorry. We'll link it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it was live once upon a time. Like, during the World Tour, it was live. But yeah, no, shout-outs. So, amazing. Great stuff. Love to see it. And, like, the other contestants as well. Like, I had a look at all the contestants, not just the ones that, like, I have a bias towards. For no particular reason, of course. But, like, they were fantastic. Like, there was a Syndra there, and that, like, spoke to me. Near and dear to my heart that year, so... They all did a fantastic job. Somebody was, like, the trench as well, which I found was hilarious. And, like, all the pictures they took, they were just capturing people and, like, their net.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so fun. There were some really great cosplays over the weekend. I love giving that community a shout out. And yeah, so yeah, check it out. We'll put the live blog link in the description. So it's easy to find since I definitely messed up what it was called.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so Emily, this is the episode about you and your performance. So first and foremost, we just love to congratulate you on an amazing performance amazing performance at the Calling in London. Literally the other side of the world to me. Yeah, you did so well. Unfortunately, I don't believe the Calling was streamed.
No, it wasn't, unfortunately.
I was gonna say, if the finals were streamed after like the finals,
yeah, they got the finals for coverage.
Oh, beautiful.
But, okay. But it's just the finals, yeah.
It's just the finals, just the most important game of the day.
Just the finals.
Unfortunately, I was asleep during that point. By that point, so I didn't get to see it, but I did wake up and see the result and was very excited. Anyway, what does winning an event that's so big, what does that mean to you?
It's kind of like vindication for all the effort I've put into this game, because I really love competing. I love to do my best and to put in the work, and to see it pay off in such a big way, it makes me so happy.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
Oh, you can go on.
I was just gonna say, with all that preparation that you said that you felt vindicated for putting into the game itself and, you know, getting results out of it, what does that look like?
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of Enigma for basically as long as she's been out. So I've always been like tweaking the deck list, looking at what other people have been playing it against a bunch of different heroes, figuring out what cards are important and what cards aren't. And that's just sort of like background. It wasn't so much active prep, it was just sort of like passive for that. And then I have a few other locals that I play with. They're also pretty competitive. They were also at the calling. We went as like 5 or 6 of us. And yeah, we would play games against each other, either on Talish or in person. We'd like talk about them afterwards, and we'd try to like figure out what we're trying to be doing in these matchups, like some interesting decision points that come up and stuff like that. And one of the things that I didn't do this time that I wish I did more of is I didn't do much draft preparation, and it really showed in the Pro Tour. Luckily for the calling, I don't need that.
Yeah.
So it didn't punish me this time. But yeah, I mostly just got some cliff notes from my friends who did practice the draft portion a bit more.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's how I approach draft events too, realistically. I don't have time. They're online doing them frequently enough that I can do a few drafts before the event.
I don't like drafting online, so it's just like it's not the same. So yeah, I definitely understand that it's like sometimes preparation, I guess, can lack in that area. But yeah, speaking of, you were also a Pro Tour player and then went on to win the calling. So what was kind of like the process to like recoup from the Pro Tour to focus on the calling? Did you make any changes to your list or like strategies between the two events? How did you kind of like lock in to the calling after the Pro Tour?
I kind of just left it as is. I didn't want to like overthink it. Just send the exact same 80. And because I sometimes get really anxious about big events. I know I was really anxious at the start of this one, and the less that I put in front of myself to make myself crazy, the better. So a lot of it was just walking it off, eating some food, having a good sleep, and then being fresh for the calling. And approaching it as its own event.
I mean, it worked, yeah.
Yeah. It's really difficult to kind of get past any tough losses kind of thing. And like you said, like it would have been tough and unenjoyable to start 2-0 and then to kind of have, I was looking at the results, I believe 3 losses in a row after that. Like,
yeah, it was 4 because I lost the first game of the draft and I just didn't want to keep playing.
Right, yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I played my 1 game of draft. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's tough to kind of get past, and like there's a huge mental barrier. So like, it's really nice that you're able to kind of reset, not think about it too much, and like with your practice that you had leading up to it. Like you said, passively, just throughout knowing the deck very well. It's really nice that you're able to kind of move past that. And I guess that's where the upside of having friends come to the event as well, right? Like when there's a whole group of you.
Yeah.
It's a really kind of beautiful thing. Yeah. So, well done on that. Now, of course, you've talked about Enigma quite a lot in this episode so far. Kind of like she's fairly important to your story here. Unfortunately, however, your win this weekend all but ensured that Enigma will becoming a living legend sooner rather than later. What does it mean to you to etch your name in history as not just a calling champion, but like as one of Enigma's, like, you know, top players, best performing players? You're literally on that honor roll now, and going to be one of the last names chronologically to be on there.
Yeah, it is a dream come true to to finish so well with the deck that I love so much. It's definitely come a long way from the start of how these deck lists used to look, and I'm a bit sad that I won't be able to play her for the PQ and Nat seasons coming up. But I guess I'll just have to find something else to play. But yeah, Enigma, I'm so happy to have my name up there. It's great. I wasn't able to do it for Dromai, but it's like the redemption. I got on there with Enigma.
See, I've never been able to do that at all, but you know, there are other illusionists out there They're just like a different primary color, but you know they exist. They're quite good, I think. 3 of them made the top 8 at Pro Tours. You know, like there's options post Enigma. Yeah. So, you know, just if you want to switch or not switch when you're forced to change.
Yeah, we'll see how Prism treats me, and if Gravy Bones can kind of fill that slot as well. See if Necromancer kind of is like illusionist adjacent.
It is, yes. No, we were just talking about how there is another illusionist in the set. I say we. I mean, me and my friend last night when we were out drinking. We were talking about how Gravy Bones is actually likely to be an illusionist with different steps. But the kind of idea is still very similar. And less Phantasm. So,
yeah.
Gravy Bones could be pretty good. Well, is Progress before or after Nationals?
Before. ProQuest is this weekend.
Before,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's this weekend.
Yeah, it's coming
like right now, yeah.
Oh, there we go. So, unfortunately, he won't be available for... Oh, no, you said post-ProQuest, didn't you? Okay, never mind. Either way. He'll be there at some point, you know. Yeah. Oh, I should have prepared more discussion questions, shouldn't I?
That's all good.
What are your thoughts on High Seas? Real quick. Do you have a...
I really like all the heroes.
Yeah?
All of them look so much fun. Like Pirates as a talent, it seems like they've got a lot going on with that. Having a ranger that... It seems so different to every other ranger that we have so far, and it looks really amazing, just like the crazy on-hits that the Marlin can pull off. And then, like, Mechanologist also going into a new direction. It's not just, like, shackled to boost now. We have, like, these cogs, and we're doing other things in that space. And then also Gravy Bones. Being able to, like, develop to the board. You play, like, your sort of mid-game control game plan. And we can see how that shakes out.
Yeah.
And they all look good. They all look good.
Are you most excited for Gravy Bones, then you would say? Or are you just kind of like excited to give them all a shot?
I'm most excited for Gravy Bones, and then I'm next most excited for Puffin, and then I'm like still excited for Marlin, but like there's 2 other amazing heroes in this. They're all good. They're all amazing. I love them all.
I think it's really fascinating that Marlin has 2 weapons. Or like we've seen 2 weapons for her that are quite different.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It's like kind of like how with what was it? With Uprising, how like you had 6 different heroes. It's sort of like 2 different ways to play the same class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder, like if you see a hero that has a very clear direction, like all the cards kind of lean towards that. I don't know how it's going to work with like having this high cost Marlin deck and then this low cost Marlin deck, assuming that they both exist within the set for limited purposes or whatever. It'd be interesting to see how that kind of plays out, but I guess the fact that she can make her own arrows as well adds to that as like the kind of bridging gap between the 2. Like, you know, if you're playing the high cost deck and you miss on your ability to miss on your chance to play a big arrow, you can make your own, I guess.
You can still send something with a lot of damage attached to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Dang. We do have sorry, I have literally just woke up.
It's okay. Well, before we move on, like, I'm just kind of curious too, like, Emily, is there anything else that you want to say about your journey to being a calling winner in London?
Or any stories you have to tell?
Yeah, stories. How did you celebrate? I feel like I don't even know what I would do.
True.
Yeah.
So throughout the event, I was always kind of like running into Andrea Mengucci because we had paired up for the PT deck registration. So I was like, oh my god, it's Andrea Mengucci. I know this guy from Magic. And then I did so well at day 1, and then in day 2, I'm like sitting next to him at all the top tables, and I managed to dodge the Mengucci matchup all the way up until the finals. And that was such a good way to end it. We've just been like sitting next to each other, going like, "Hey, why haven't we paired up yet?" And then for the big match to be the final showdown.
That's pretty great.
A very funny story for the event. And then yeah, for celebrating, I had all my friends were just like waiting beside the feature match table. We went for a ton of high fives and hugs. And it was crazy. We went for a really tasty supper. It was like one of the places by the dockyard that had like a, what was it? I can't even remember now, but we had some delicious food. Had some tasty desserts, and yeah, got to have a good time with my friends.
That is so special and wholesome. I love that. It's just
That's so sweet. Just kind of coming together again, like especially because y'all travel to get there. So like it's always nice to watch your friends do well, and you kind of get to revel in their wins as well. In this case, your win. So it's really nice and wholesome. And what was just, I have to know because he was basically my favorite like card game pro when I was. I say younger, but like realistically older than some of the people watching this video. Still, maybe. What was he like, Mengucci specifically?
Mengucci's super nice. He's super sweet. He's like very talkative. I was kind of a bit down in the dumps when I met up in deck registration, so I was like super out of it.
Yeah.
But he was still really fun to sit next to, and yeah, it's like very clear. He's very friendly. He's a very nice guy.
Is it like intimidating playing with somebody with like that kind of stature in trading card games?
It was a bit at first, but it's like, you know what? I've played 15, 17 games of Flesh and Blood this weekend. And as amazing and cool as he is just another Flesh and Blood player.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good way to think about it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have listener questions. I realized I didn't update them. There was a couple more on the Bluesky. Thank you to those who posted on there. And I'm just going to quickly check our Discord as well. Okay. Cool. So we have a few questions for you. The first one. I lost my notes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The first one comes from Vitor Farhat Fernandez. At Vitor Farhat bsky.social. Thank you for helping to send Enigma off. I can't tell if that's necessarily a positive or a negative kind of feeling towards Enigma now that I think about it. But thank you. There you go. And then they ask, what are you planning to play after Enigma Living Legends?
I've got a few different options that I was looking at. I know my friend has been talking a lot about Jarl, and I've always wanted to get back into an Ice hero because I played a bit of Icelander back when she was legal, and I really like the style of Jarl. He's a really cool hero. New is also another one that I'm kind of interested in, but she's also really close to Living Legends, so I don't know if I'm just gonna like get invested in that and then she LLs like right after Nationals or something. Then I'll be a bit sad. Then I'll have to do this whole rigmarole again. But yeah, I'm looking at primarily those two heroes, like kind of at Prism, but not as much. Out of all of the Illusionists, like I want to like her a bit better, but this version of her is like really reliant on the Heralds, and that's not exactly the kind of playstyle that I gel with.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see where the game takes us. Maybe Gravy Bones, maybe. After all these events.
I was gonna say, so you talked about Gravy Bones, and you're like, yeah, I like Jarl, I like New. I think you like Blues. Like, I think that's what it is. You like Blues.
Yeah, I do like pitching blue cards.
When you're like, oh, there's something about Prism, like, it's because she pitches yellows, isn't it? Right, and then you're like, yeah, Heralds. I'm like, that's not the direction I thought this was going.
Yeah. I like when there's a few big attacks sprinkled in, like
Mhm.
Enigma plays like a handful of Phantasm attacks. But like having like your entire game plan being you need to hit with these
Mhm.
is like it's a bit I don't know, it's like when it hinges that much, it's a bit of a one note kind of thing.
I get that. The game's a struggle when they have an
It is.
higher than average amount of poppers.
Mhm.
So I definitely get that. And then they also ask a more serious question. This is addressed to all of us.
Oh.
Are any of us going to Worlds this year? Or any of you, quote unquote, from their point of view? Do any of you think it's safe for minorities to travel to the States for such an important event in our community? This is something I wish that I kind of read in advance and didn't just like see it. And it's like, oh, there's another question.
Yeah.
We could edit. We
This
could
is
edit.
something I've been it's something I've been thinking about a bit ever since it was announced that Worlds would be in Philadelphia, and I'm not going to chance it. Like it sucks that I won't be able to make it, but like I have to put safety first.
Yeah.
Traveling to the States is not exactly a good proposition right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I live here, so I'll be there. It's like it's very close to me. But
isn't it like the
yeah.
other side of the country to you?
no, it's like an hour away.
Oh no, sorry, no, I was thinking of Nationals, never mind. I was like, isn't it in like Vegas? No, that's Nationals.
I was like, it's okay.
It's got I know where Philly is.
That's fine. I don't know where things are in the US either.
I could like sleep at my house if I wanted to. Like it's really close to me.
Okay, as an aside, like it blows my mind that everything on the East Coast is like one place.
Yeah.
And then you go, the further west you go, the more spread out it is. It's like Australia in that sense, actually. Like almost exactly like Australia.
Well, they have like deserts and mountains and stuff over there, so they kind of are forced to be more spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely tough. Like I have friends who aren't in our community at all. Like they're Flesh and Blood players, but like they're like cis, het, white, and even they're concerned about like going to the States. Like he was telling me that like someone got turned away once getting to the States purely because they had like statements on the internet that opposed the current government, and like
yeah, jeez.
that alone is kind of like very risky. Like it's not cheap to go to the United States.
Exactly. Especially when comparing to, because when I flew from Canada to London, like I applied for a travel authorization ahead of time, and I just needed to literally scan my passport, and I was in. I'm like, thanks, Commonwealth. This is so much smoother than traveling to the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah, I think any travel concerns right now are valid, so it's something to consider for sure before you decide to travel.
Yeah. As unfortunate it is to like have to miss a Worlds event that you might have been planning to go to, yeah, gotta look out for yourself as well. So those are the questions from Vitor. Thank you for those. And we also have questions from one of our regular listeners, Alex, the Drakai of Scarlet Wind, at deviledeggs.bsky.social. And they say, hi Emily, and Kiki and Elaine. Congrats on the calling. So this is a little two-parter. I nearly said three. Two-parter. The first part is there an unexplored strategy archetype you'd like to see in Flesh and Blood? If so, what class best suits it?
That's a real thinker, because like the way that Flesh and Blood plays out is so much different than like every other game that I've played plays out. So I can't really like map things over. Like I can't look at Magic and go, oh, we have like tempo decks here. I mean, that's kind of like all the decks here.
Yeah.
So it's like, I I know my friend has been like speculating on stuff about like alchemist classes and what that has to look like, and I kind of want to see how the alchemist class will eventually play out. How like they use potions, or like how that's gonna go on, because that seems like something that's very different than what we've got going on here, and it makes me super curious to think about what can be done with all of that.
Didn't James White at one point say that all those potions from Everfest will be like really relevant eventually? Like you're gonna want all those potions eventually. And I'm like, for what? Like,
yeah, what's the game?
Yeah, like where are you going with all these? 'Cause the Everfest is just like there is a ton of random potions in there, and I think I mean I could just be making stuff up, but I don't know. I think at one point he said like, "Oh, those will be really relevant. You're gonna want those one day." So
Just putting words in James's
Like
mouth.
yeah, I don't
all
know.
these random potions and talismans.
I'm
That's
just
an interesting question, though.
Mhm.
So I feel like you were gonna say something.
no, I was just gonna say something stupid. Yeah.
Go on. That's what I'm here for.
Okay. I was gonna say I uncoincidentally I have a lot of potions I'm trying to sell, so I'm just,
They're all important.
yeah, they're
trust
all
me.
James said.
You'll need them.
No, I'm not selling any potions. That's a joke.
As you say, you do love going to like Ren fairs, so like that could be a thing. It is interesting because like you could obviously take that one or two ways. Isn't like if they're all gonna be relevant, like are they all gonna be relevant to the one hero, or are they all plan to be like relevant over time? Like, for example, a card like Healing Potion, for example, saw no play until Verdance came out, and then that became relevant. And like it might have been a we think these potions are powerful in the right context kind of situation, as opposed to we think there's gonna be an alchemist that's gonna play every single one of these, and and you're not going to be able to block ever because they all have no blocking value.
It would be so silly though if that were the case.
Yeah, I mean, I have like thoughts about how an alchemist would work. I was playing this one video game a while ago, a couple of years ago now, and they had what was an equivalent of an alchemist. Like, she would brew potions across different turns. It was a Slay the Spire-esque style game, like a deck building roguelike kind of situation. You would spend some of your actions or some of your cards to produce the potions, and then you'd have the payoff in like a following turn or two where she would launch said potions through like a weapon style thing at the opponent, so they would explode and then have some sort of negative effect as well, or should drink the potion and gain a positive sort of effect. So like I could see something similar as that, where you have these sort of potions and like maybe you can turn them into damage by like launching them, or you can gain the effect. It's kind of mechanologist-ish in a way because they're items, obviously. So you're gonna have the same issues of having a lot of cards that don't block, especially if it's like the majority of your blues have that. They might have to change this so some potions can, or whether it's like literally having a defense value or by giving it some sort of flavor where you can drink a potion when you're attacked and become like invulnerable, kind of like Popeye with his spinach, you know?
I like that. I like Popeyes.
Wait, I meant Popeye like the sailor. Not
Yeah,
Popeye,
yeah.
the chicken.
That was
okay.
like that was like one of my favorite shows as a kid. I loved Popeyes, the Sailor Man. Yeah. No, we're on the same page.
Okay, good.
I like Popeye's chicken also though, but
But that's not spinach. That's not
Yeah,
gonna
it's not
make
the
you
same.
invulnerable and jacked.
no, it does
like-
yeah, quite the opposite to me, yeah.
Yeah. As like a real quick aside, like I love spinach because of Popeye. Like as a kid, like that's what I also watched, and my mother was really surprised because I'd always ask for spinach with everything. If you look at me now, I did not become buff. That is not who I became.
Didn't even enough spinach. I
Yeah.
guess.
You're so right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find some on my way to work and just eat it so I can look ripped for my customers. um, Going back to the point you mentioned though, like it is, yeah, Flesh and Blood is so rooted in its core and what it is and stuff that coming up with archetypes without being a card game developer, is like a challenge. Like I've thought about it on more than one occasion. Like how would you introduce new classes? And I think that's why they don't introduce new classes all that often, right? Like it took 4 sets to get 4 sets. Yes. To get Illusionist, and then Assassin came, what, like 7 sets? Wait, I've got the... yeah.
Wait, yeah.
8 sets.
It sounds about right.
Assassin came in Dynasty.
Yeah, so Dynasty was the 8th unique set if we ignore History Pack.
History Pack, yeah.
I'm just looking at them chronologically on my wall right now. Just because I have every set as a box. Yeah. And then we haven't gotten a new hero for Classic Constructed, or new archetype rather, for Classic Constructed since. So like, because of the way it's so rooted in its core mechanics and stuff, it's quite difficult to come up with a new class. And even then, like the early kind of, like what we've said about Gravy Bones, kind of feels like an illusionist in the way that he's summoning allies, and then you have the decision point of am I attacking Gravy Bones, am I attacking the allies, so on and so forth. Even though it attacks differently and stuff, that's, yeah, it's kind of difficult to think of new classes. I'm sure there are other ways to do it, and like also you don't want to reveal your hand too early, I guess, right? Like you don't want to change the game up so much and lose all the different spices you could have when you could drip feed it to us once every 3 years. Not every 3 years,
Yeah.
once every 2 years. So, yeah. Well, I guess that wasn't the question now that I think about it.
Yeah, we kind of took it in its own direction, and that's fine.
Okay.
I hope.
The question was one of the strategies you'd like to see in Flesh and Blood, if so, what
Yeah.
class, assuming already existing, best suits it?
Oh. Yeah, that wasn't... Oh, well.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we do have our aggro decks, our combo decks, our, I guess, fatigue decks.
Oh.
You have a pretty good spread among all of these. Oh, Kiki?
I was gonna say, there is kind of a deck that I wanted to exist for a class that already exists, kind of. When I first heard about Bard existing, I was really hoping that, like, it would be some sort of, like, milling deck. Like, milling your opponent. Like, one that just actually mills. Not like an Enigma where you're trying to, like, fatigue them and stuff. Just one that actively dealt 0 damage throughout the game.
Yeah, put cards from their deck into the graveyard.
And then, like, just have no sort of attacks in the deck whatsoever. And then the win condition was just, like, the weapon that got stronger for each kind of, like, X amount of cards in the discard pile. So, like, say, for every 5 cards in the discard pile, it gets +1. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but when they have no cards in their deck, it's like a weapon to actually, like, deal damage. And I was trying to justify that, like, flavorfully, how that works. It's like, well, they're a bard, you know, they kind of sing songs, put you into, like, a lullaby. A different kind of bard, I guess, right? And then, like, the weapon would purely just be, like, their lute, or whatever instrument they're using, that they're just using as a hammer at the end while you've passed out. That was my flavor justification for it.
Okay.
It's like, oh, they're asleep, I can now, like, get my hits in. But yeah, I don't think we've seen, like, an actual mill deck, and I'm sure some people would hate it because people don't like losing their cards.
Yeah.
But it is an archetype that we haven't seen in Flesh and Blood yet.
Yeah, we did kind of get it like halfway with Arachne Huntsman when he first came out, and then Assassin took a different direction.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. And then, secondly, they ask, what's your Fab main's gym leader type? For example, I feel like Ira is a fighting type. Catch these hands of vengeance. I should have said that much more enthusiastically. That's
Catch these hands of vengeance.
exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I want to use those as screenshots. I don't know how, but I want to. But yeah, so what's your Fab Mains Gym Leader type? Emily.
For Enigma, like this might be a bit weird, but I feel like she might either be Psychic type or Dragon type.
We didn't go with the obvious water one. This is a much more interesting answer.
Yeah, water, like, sure, that fits with, like, the entire Mystic class. I don't know, it doesn't feel quite as honed into Enigma, I guess. Whereas, like, I mean, she does have the big Mira guy being the obvious dragon, and, like, 3 visits, well, like, not a card that I've ever put in an Enigma deck, that it's, like, all these different spirits of the moon. And, like, the moon is also another really good connection to the Psychic type. So, like, that is kind of her, I mean, that's her majestic, sacred art, immortal lunar shrine. So I feel like either of those work really well. It also works really well for, like, all the stuff that she's conjuring up. All these illusions also fits really well with the psychic theme.
That's true.
I don't know, I get, like, very, what were those twin gym leaders from Hoenn?
Tate and
I
Liza?
forget their names. Yeah, I get, like, very Tate and Liza vibes from her.
See, I was thinking water because it's very, like, bulky defensive type. It has, like, fairly decent defensive spreads. But, like, a lot of the better water Pokemon tend to be quite defensive and difficult to kind of remove from play, I guess. And then they are fairly synergy based with, like, rain dance, I guess. I've been watching a lot of Pokemon content recently, just coincidentally to this question. So I thought water fit pretty well, but, like, the psychic thing does kind of make sense with illusion, especially if we're going with, like, flavor and going with a more interesting answer than just being like, yeah, she's watery.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of Pokemon since, like, I don't know, 10 years ago. I have, like, the Pokemon Pocket app that I collect the shiny cards, but I don't really play it so much.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Funnily enough, Sam, I also don't play the video game. Elaine, do you know what Pokemon type your main would be?
Kasai? If I'm thinking about Kasai, or I guess, like, Aurora. I really don't know. Like, I'm trying to think what would maybe fit Kasai. And, like, cause, like, if we
Maybe, like, a rock type?
Yeah, like, I think there's, like, steel type, right? But I don't which, like, maybe I could see because like, but I also don't know if that fully fits Kasai.
Yeah, I like rock type just because, like, she's from
Volcor?
oh my god,
Volcor, which also made I was like
the desert.
yeah, and I don't think, like, fire really fits her, which is also Volcor, but I don't think fire really
yeah, 'cause
fits
she
her.
doesn't really play into the
Yeah.
Wait, would she be ground type, like, purely on name alone, like being of the Golden Sands?
Oh, maybe. But
That's pretty
yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like rock kind of feels a bit more like her. Like,
Yeah.
she's, like, tossing these rocks at you, which are her weapons, as opposed to, like, ground implies, like, a bit more sturdiness, which I think Kasai is a lot more fluid.
Yeah.
See, I have the opposite feeling.
I don't know. This is, like, all vibes.
It is all vibes. But, like, if you've seen our podcast before, we did a tier list based on, like, baby girl vibes as opposed to, like, playable viability. So, like,
there's a lot of
kind of
vibes
what we
going
do
on.
here.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I could agree with Rock more than Ground because she has, like, a little bit more fluidity to her game plan. If we were to, like, do my other hero main Aurora, I think that one's kind of easy. It's just, like, electric.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vibes are clearer.
Exactly
Yeah.
good.
That one is much more clear. It's funny, I was thinking, if we're basing it on vibes, I don't know why. Or rather, I thought Kasai would fit Rock more because she's a lot more stoic and, like, sturdy and, like, character, I feel. Like, I don't know if she shows much emotion. To be honest, I haven't read her lore very much, but based off like the card and vibe alone, she feels kind of. You'd know more.
Yeah, I mean, she's just like very like stoic and vengeful, I guess. Like she is just like sturdy, I guess what you're saying, and like character and just
Yeah.
I don't know, she's just kind of a badass, but she has like a really tragic background, so yeah.
I think rock fits
yeah.
for her. As for Prism, I don't know. Like, there's nothing. They don't have an equivalent of light in Pokemon. Like, unless you count
I
like.
think fairy is like kind of.
Oh, I forgot that
You're
existed.
like going for like the angelic.
Yeah.
Kind.
No, 100%. I completely forgot. I'm like, is she psychic?
Okay.
I mainly play the trading card game where fairy is part of psychic, so I forgot that fairy exists as its own thing. But yeah, no, 100%. That was way easier than I thought it would be. Well, now that I know that exists, like, yeah, that's pretty clear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is it flying? Flying doesn't quite feel right, but it could be. Yeah, fairies. And also, that's not my favorite type, but it has one of my favorite Pokemon. And then, if it was Dash as my other main, which I haven't played in a while. Actually, I haven't played her for like a year and a half, like, competitively. So I guess my other main is Syndra or Florian. Florian's grassy.
Florian?
Or is he ground?
I kind of feel like
I was thinking poison also for Florian.
Like he wants to drag the fight out long, and then he like slowly chips away at you and chips away at you.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I can vibe that.
And that's sort of like it still does do with like the plant vibe.
Yeah, I think Verdance could be grass.
Verdance is grass, yeah.
Yeah.
And Cinder's fire. I don't think you can
Cinder's fire.
call anything else like.
Yeah, a lot of these draconic heroes kind of just like, oh, they're fire.
Yeah, they're very one note. They're very glass cannony and fragile. None of them really grind. Interesting question I've not thought about. Well, I believe that's all the questions we've had for today. It's been very wonderful to have you. Again, congratulations on your calling. I was gonna say finalist. No, your calling win.
Thank you.
You did such an excellent job to do that, to be there and to enjoy the whole event. So, very proud of you. Congratulations. Before we wrap up, do you have any sort of shout outs you want to do?
I guess I can shout out my my locals who accompanied me. Jacob and Sam and Matthew. I'm also terrible with names, and they know this. Like literally the last PT we went to, I messed up a friend's name, and even now they'll never stop bugging me about it. But yeah,
It's fine. This is only being recorded.
Yeah.
only for everyone to hear for all of time. I'm like doing my best. But yeah, and Alex as well, and extra head judge, not head judge. Extra shout out to my judge friend Felix. You're the best. You got me into this game, and I'm so happy with it. So,
Beautiful.
Hold on.
Oh,
Lucas. Jesus, I almost forgot someone's name. Lucas as well.
amazing. If you were forgotten by Emily, we apologize. And just pretend that your name is at this point here in my hand.
Yeah, fix it in
post.
Well, I don't know their names. I'm not going to put them there.
Yeah. We'll leave that as an exercise to the viewer.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. If people want to keep up with your Flesh and Blood kind of adventures, how would they find you?
I do have a Bluesky account, and I occasionally post on it, but I mostly just post Flesh and Blood when I'm at big events. I have a little recap for my calling adventure. But yeah, it's at Unusual Thunder at bluesky.social.
Perfect. Okay. And you can find me, should you want to, you can find me on Bluesky at kikibird.bsky.social, and you can find Elaine at...
Oh, at I was having so much fun just listening. At ehamontree.bsky.social. Ham on tree, like bacon on bush or pork on shrubbery.
And of course, if you don't already, you can find this podcast on Bluesky at pitchperfectpod.bsky.social. And of course, as we're getting closer to the middle of the year and we've been randomly dropping hints, keep an eye out on the Rainbow Pitch League Bluesky. That's Rainbow X pitch.bsky. Oh, let me confirm that. I'm now no longer sure.
I'm actually not sure. I think it's Rainbow X Pitch.
Yeah.
.bsky.social.
This is like the third week I've also called it out. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, so make sure you follow all of those. You can check us out on our Discord as well. Join the community. That'll be in the bio below. And am I missing anything? Oh yeah, like, share, and subscribe. That thing, you know.
That thing.
We're YouTubers. Do that,
no pressure
please.
though. No pressure though.
There is.
Oh gosh, lots of pressure. All right.
Yeah, we are nearly at 1 million subscribers. We're just about 999,900 and something off. Yeah, so you know we're the
like
drive
this.
to 1 million. We're getting there.
Yeah, we'll do a giveaway.
At 1 million subs.
All right.
Clock's ticking. Better get in.
Yeah, better get in.
Close.
1 of 1 million will win.
Yeah.
And with that, thank you so much for joining us, Emily, and thank you for watching. We will see you on our next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.